Nearly half of UK trains are cancelled or late, but fares still set to rise. The UK is set for the biggest rail fare hike in 5 years, but data covering 7 million train arrivals in the 5 weeks before Christmas reveal that only one of the country's 28 rail operators managed to have less than a third of its services arriving late or cancelled. Stephen Joseph of the Campaign for Better Transport said, "With acute overcrowding and ever-increasing fares, the very least passengers could expect is to arrive at their destination on time. This makes the government's annual fare rise look like an even crueler joke." Rail fares go up by an average of 3.4% on Tuesday. According to a report, 48% of all train services were late or cancelled. Central stations in the biggest cities had even worse records, and 72% of all trains into Birmingham New Street and London Victoria were delays or cancelled. TransPennine Express is the train company imposing the biggest fare increase, but it is understood to be among the worst performing. Nearly 1 in 10 arrivals on Virgin West Coast into cities such as Birmingham and Manchester were more than half an hour late or cancelled. But it is the state-controlled operators Merseyrail, London Overground and TfL Rail who performed better than almost every privatised operator. The Sunday Times obtained Network Rail's running data, derived from signalling systems, and analyzed it to publish figures charting the performance of every train at almost every stop to the minute. This is far more accurate and precise than the railway's official indicator, the so-called public performance measure. Official statistics claim more than 84% of trains were on time in the 4 weeks to December 9, which is the latest available figure. But this only looks at each train's final stop and counts a train delayed by up to 10 minutes for long-distance services, or 5 minutes for local services, as being on time. Of the 28 train operators, 15 had more than half their trains arriving late, and only C2C, which runs between London and Southend, managed less than a third of its trains arriving late. Almost a quarter of Virgin West Coast arrivals into cities such as Birmingham and Manchester were more than 10 minutes late. And 5,600 arrivals, which is nearly a tenth, were more than half an hour late. Despite this, from Tuesday Virgin will charge £338 for a standard anytime return from London to Manchester, which is more than the cost for a flight to Dubai. It comes as former Transport Secretary Lord Adonis called for the removal of criss-grailing over the East Coast Main Line scandal. The East Coast franchise operated by Stagecoach and Virgin has run into financial difficulty and will be bailed out by taxpayers, which is what happened in 2009 when National Express ran into financial difficulty and was taken over by the state. Lord Adonis called the current crisis as the worst transport scandal since the collapse of Railtrack in 2001. A campaign was launched last week to renationalize the East Coast franchise operated by Stagecoach and Virgin. Paul Plummer, chief executive of the Rail Delivery Group, said, "Our railway performs very well compared to many other countries, but there is more we can do. Our reliability measures provide improved focus on ensuring trains meet the timetable while we introduce more trains with more seats.